let's spend 10 quality minutes with Brian McTaggart, who was fresh from his trip in Arlington. Are you driving back right now?
Yeah, I'm coming through Willis.
Did you go to Buc-ee's?
I did twice. I went to the Buc-ee's in Ennis.
Oh my God!
Had a drink.
Yeah.
And I saw Chandler Rome there, and then I blew past him on the freeway, and then I had to go to the Buc-ee's in Madisonville, go to the restroom. So I'm Buc-ee'd out.
He didn't make fun of your weight, did he?
No, but he could have.
It's true. You are getting heavier. All right, Brian, boy, that ballpark, somebody just called. It was a fan that was there, an Astros fan. He says, yeah, that was lifeless. I'm like, yeah, when the other team comes in and beats your ass for 3 days, it's got to be lifeless. Has that been the quietest you've ever seen an opposing stadium for a regular season, quote-unquote, huge series in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that the Astros scored so early in all those games, but I mean, there were so many Astros fans there, though it was still pretty noisy. But I was really shocked at the empty seats last night. I know they were pushing this game, Verlander, Scherzer, and after the game on Tuesday, they said there were, I think, 4,000 tickets left, but there were a couple of sections that were mostly empty. So yeah, I mean, I guess they just after all three games, after the third inning, it was kind of over. So not a whole lot to cheer about if you were a Rangers fan.
Well, I think, to no surprise, the Astro bat's always going to be greater than Rangers bullpen. So let's take that out of the equation. Was there anything else that overly surprised you? Is it because of the fact that they were able to go on the road and dominate as compared to struggling at home? And what else kind of caught your eye besides the fact that they took advantage of something that we knew they could, and that was the Texas Ranger bullpen?
Well, I think quietly they pitched really well. I mean, Fromber and Verlander both pitched really, really well. So, everyone's focusing on the runs. But, I mean, Verlander goes out there and gives up one earned run, and that was on the first pitch he threw. So, he pitched really well. I thought Fromber pitched well. So, J.P. France was okay. So, they pitched well enough, even if they didn't score 39 runs, to be competitive and win a couple of those games. But it's just weird how they go to Boston, score a ton of runs, and sweep. Can't get anything going at home against a bad Yankees team, and then go on the road and score a bunch of runs and sweep. So their run differential is huge on the road. There's a negative run differential at home. So they got to try to turn that around here this week.
Brian McTaggart, MLB.com here on Sports Talk 790. And Brian, you mentioned the good starts from Framber and Justin Verlander. Got an interesting call on the postgame last night. If you felt like if the playoffs started tonight, would you rather have Christian Javier in the rotation or the Hunter Brown in the rotation? And what do you think the Astros would do?
Yeah, I think it would probably be Javier at this point. His last start was pretty good a couple of months, so I think that's something to build on. Hunter's older than that at this point. I think he's a little bit more of a wild card, a little bit more of an unknown. But Javier's going to have to do what he did against the Yankees. He's going to have to do that the next 3 or 4 starts and sort of get the confidence back in him by the staff, because he was on a run there to where he was pitching a 6 ERA and not like the guy who the first couple of months you thought might be in the Cy Young race. But I still think Javier has been there and done that. I'd like to see Hunter get a little bit more consistent if I'm the Astros, but if it's between those two guys at this point, I think Javier gets the ball.
Are we in a position where we're going to have to still kind of watch what the Astro or Dusty decide to do with the outfield, because there are now so many guys fighting for playing time? Is this something that's going to take us all the way to the postseason start?
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, they're healthy right now, and they have so many options. Like, McCormick doesn't start yesterday, but he really wasn't going to start. If you look at what Dusty does, I mean, Brantley hadn't started in 3 games, so he's going to play. Alvarez is going to play. So one of them is going to be in left. One's going to be at DH. He likes to bond with Verlander in center. Tucker's in right. There's no spot for McCormick. They just have a lot of depth right now that they're completely healthy. And, Jake Myers is getting occasional starts here and there. So I think Dusty's going to continue to do what he did all year. And, he did this last year too. Then when they got to the playoffs, guess what happened? They had a lot of days off and a lot of rest.
You kind of went out there for a second, Brian, but that was leading to my question is that you did have this last year, and then in the playoffs, everything stabilized. I think Chas McCormick started the vast majority of the playoff games in center field and, of course, made that big catch in Philly and all that type of stuff. Do you see that situation playing out similarly this year if you had to predict?
Yes, I do. As far as their infield and in right field, I still think left is going to be between Alvarez and Brantley in the DH spot, and then McCormick's going to mix in there in center. What does he do with Dubon? I think those are the. I don't think we see Jake Myers starting a game in the playoffs. And certainly not Singleton or Kessinger is going to be the primary guys. You're not worried about any the hot hand or anything like that. You're going to go with the guys that you feel will give you the best chance to win, and you have a lot of options right now in the outfield in terms of that.
It's easy for us to make this assessment today after a 3-game sweep, but your eyes saw it. You saw some of the guys in the clubhouse and in the meeting rooms and whatnot with the Rangers. Are they feeling this, or do you feel like they've got enough of an offensive production crew top to bottom that they can overcome this and still make this another race with Toronto and maybe even Seattle and Houston for the division? Or do you think this was the series they just can't come back from?
Yeah, never say never. But that did look like a beat-down team last night, at least in terms of the Astros. They're 3 games behind the Astros now, and the Astros have the tiebreaker, so they would have to finish a game ahead of the Astros. I just don't see that happening with the schedule that the Astros have left. But, yeah, I still think there's a good shot the Rangers can make the playoffs. A lot of it's going to have to depend probably on Garcia. That didn't look good when he came down on the wall trying to chase the Brantley homer. So, if they lose him, that's a 100 RBI guy out of their lineup. That's really going to hurt. They got to get their pitching in order. But in terms of Astros-Rangers, I think the Astros pretty much put the Rangers out of the division race at this point. But, hey, we've seen stranger things happen. But the gap between those two teams over the weekend was pretty substantial.
Lastly, this team is a game above 500. So how many nervous Nellies will be in that Astros clubhouse to do something against a Padre team that has been clearly well underperforming so far this year?
Yeah, I think this is a big series. I think they need to win 2 out of 3 the rest of the way, and especially at home. They can't come out and afford really to lay an egg at this point. Mariners are still on their heels, and they have the tiebreaker over the Astros. So, if they finish tied, the Mariners are going to get that bye, which is huge right now because the winner of the AL West gets the bye, which is a pretty big carrot to chase. But tough assignment tomorrow on Blake Snell. He might win the Cy Young. So, a big challenge for that offense right off the bat here in this series when they return home.
All right, what's your current speed limit? What's your current speed on your car as we speak right now? I'm
going 78 and rising. But I'm getting into like the fringes of Houston here, Magnolia and stuff. So I'm having to – I took off the cruise. I'm having to pay attention. Can I say one thing before you let me go?
Please.
You had an ad about 30 minutes ago about Galveston Bay Brewing.
Yes.
That's a really good spot. I've been there quite a few times. It's not too far from my house, and their Oktoberfest is great.
Let me tell you something. You and I are going to pop some beers at Galveston Bay Brewing. You okay with that?
Oh, yeah. Let's go.
But I need you to bring your debit card, though.
That's fine. We'll do it. It's short drive from my house, so I'll meet you there.
And I'll be your personal Uber for you. How about that?
That's even better.
All right. Safe travels, my friend. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, guys.
All right, Brian McTaggart, Galveston Bay Brewing. That's my man. He knows a good brew when he hears one.
All right, I like that. Can I go?
Yeah, we need to. They let kids and dogs go there too. Just kind of a super chill place.
Kids beers?
No.
Oh,
they don't. No, they don't do that.
I was just kidding. 21 and up. Drink responsibly, and always plan for a safe ride home.
So today was not a great carb day for me, as you know.
Oh, I do know. Those pancakes were good, though.
They were really, really good. But fish and chips, it's part of it. They're known for their fish and chips.
Oh, really?
There. Yeah.
Okay. Fish and chips and a brew? That's classic right there.
I mean, you tell me what doesn't sound any better than a Galveston Bay brew and fish and chips.
Okay.
With a dog on the dock.
Okay.
At the bar.
Sure.
Giving them some treats. They got a special menu.
Okay.
Some good music going.
Yes.
And maybe the temperature's under 150 degrees.
Hopefully. Yeah, you get the nice Galveston Bay breeze.
Well, it's actually it's a Clear Lake breeze.
Oh, okay.
The Kemah breeze.
But
if
it
you
cothink
will.
in from Galveston Bay.
Exactly. All right.
I think it's the jet stream.
God, I feel like we need to put a Jimmy Buffett song on or something now.
May he rest.